Hello guys, in this video we are going to go ahead and exploit the DNS because we were able to add ourselves to the DNSAdmin, and since we are a DNSAdmin we can go ahead and exploit that. We are going to go ahead and exploit the DNS server from a domain controller. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing that I want to do is I want to actually verify that I have access to the domain controller still. So I'm going to import PowerView, and let me see, who am I? I should be student 1 still. There we go. So if I do get user or get domain user admin or get domain user, and then I'm going to specify who the user I want to look for, student 1. And then here you're going to go to member of, and you can see that I am part of the DNSAdmin. Therefore, we are going to be able to inject a DLL, which in the DLL is going to have a reverse shell, which we are going to catch with PowerCat on this machine. And this machine is, let's go ahead and host name, it is student.pentesting.local machine. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is that we want to go ahead and create that payload. And the way that you do that, I'm going to do this from MS Venom over here. So let's go ahead and see the I want to go to my home, user, videos, see it into my videos, and see it into AD, and then tools, and I want to place it here. So what we want to do is we are going to create a DLL payload, and that payload is going to basically give me a reverse shell. That's another one, I'm sorry for that. It is the MS Venom, and here we go. So with MS Venom, I'm going to do an architecture of 64-bit for Windows x64, right? Architecture, shell, reverse shell. The host, I need to change that because it needs to be the host of this one in here. So let's go ahead IP config, because I'm going to catch it in this computer. So that's going to be the host. All right, let's go ahead and change that. And the port, I'm going to keep it the same. 444, doesn't matter the port. What really matters is the this IP address. It needs to be the IP address of where you're going to be catching this reverse shell. All right, so let's go ahead and also let's just name it Priv for now, priv.dll. Okay, so let's see, priv.dll. There we go. Exploit Ruby warning using the last argument. So let's see, did I do something wrong? Okay, let's just go ahead and give it a minute. Okay, sorry for that. I had to update my Ruby version. So let's go ahead and run that command again. Paste it in here. Let's go ahead and change that IP address one more time because I copied the wrong command. It is 1.55. So this is going to create a reverse shell, and then we are going to basically just download it. You can see I just kept the name. We are going to download it from this local device that I'm in, and my IP address is this one over here. So let's go ahead and copy it, and then I'm going to run a Python 3 a server, HTTP server, so I can go ahead and download that from So okay, so I can go ahead and download it from my from this machine, this IP address. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and just put this down. We're going to go to Chrome, and we're going to go to this IP address 8000, and we're going to download Priv SC. Is that what I name it? Let me go ahead and copy it from here. So download it. You can see I already have it downloaded because I already did this before in my downloads. So let's go ahead and go to my downloads, and I'm going to just copy this one, which I did before. Control C. I want to move it to you can move it to wherever you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder, and this folder, let's go ahead and call it Priv. And what I'm going to do with this folder is that I'm going to share it with everybody, so everybody's able to access this folder, because the way that I'm doing it is I want that whenever I inject that DLL, and whenever I restart the DNS server, it should be able to get this. It should be able to get it because I'm sharing it, right? They should have access to it, and it's called. This is going to be called student-priv. Awesome. Let's go ahead and go to security and also have everybody have full access to it, just because. Okay, and then I'm going to paste that in here. Awesome sauce. So after that, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be injecting this, and the way that we inject this DLL, right, it's going to create a new register key in the DNS registry path, so that whenever we restart the DNS, it is going to start this DLL, and we are going to catch a reverse shell. And the way that you do that is by running this command. Let me go ahead and edit. So what's going to happen is we are going to run the DNS CDM. Even if you don't have the DNS CDM, you can go ahead and install that if you have a Windows server. I believe you can also install it in Windows 10. You can go to manage, add roles and features, next, and also next. And here you want to go to remote server administration, then you want to go to feature administrations. Is it? No, it's remote administration, role administration tools, and this one over here. Whenever you install DNS server tools, which I already have installed, it is going to give you this tool right here, which you are able. This tool lets you actually, what it does is it lets anybody in the DNSAdmin group to edit or to make any configurations to the DNS server. Okay, since we are in the DNSAdmin group, what we want to do is we want to go to the DC, which is a domain controller, pentesting.local. We are going to configure a new register key, which is going to be called server level plugin DLL. And what I want to add to that server plugin DLL register key is that I want to add this student share priv esc.dll, which if we do a run and we paste it in here, if we go to this location, you're going to see student. Actually, cancel student share. Why is it student share? It's not student share, it's student priv. There we go. So it is student priv, not student share. So let's go ahead and edit that. There we go. So there we go. So we have registry, the property, server level plugin DLL successfully reset, and the command was completed successfully. Okay, so how do you know that it is actually there? So you don't really know that it's actually there, but since this is a lab environment and we do have access to the domain controller, this one over here, we can go ahead and see if it is actually there. One of the ways is that by going in there, and if you go to H local machine system current control set services, if you open the registry editor, and then you go all the way to DNS, and then you open parameters. In parameters, you're going to, let's see if it's in there. There we go. You're going to see that we enter a new registry, which is a server level plugin DLL, and you can see that we added this path over here, a student priv escalation.dll. What is going to happen is we're going to stop the DNS, and then we're going to start the DNS, and the DNS is going to check all this DLL in here, and it's going to execute every single one of them. And whenever it executes this one in here, it is going to execute this reverse shell that I have, okay, and it is going to give me a reverse shell, and I'm going to catch it. Another way that you can take a look at it is by running a get item property from the domain controller. And the way that you do that is by doing a get item property, and you want to go to the location that we went to, and you can see it over here. It gives you what you have in there. It is a server level plugin. That's the name of the registry key, and you can see what is in there, right? Awesome sauce. So what we're going to do, right, that's the way that you can test to see that it's actually working. But if you don't really have access to it, you cannot know that it was actually added. The only way that it will tell you that it is there is because if you get this command over here, or if you get this actual information, the registry property server plugin DLL was successfully reset, and the command was completed successfully, then that means that it was actually added to the DLL. Okay, that's the only way to basically tell. So now what we're going to be doing is we are going to catch that reverse shell. First, we are going to put over here, then we are going to open another PowerShell. So from this one, what we're going to do is we are going to import the PowerCat module, and from the PowerCat module, we want to do a PowerCat, and we are going to listen, right, on port 4444. Remember, 4444 was the port that we created when we did the when we did that reverse shell from MS Venom, right? Remember, we added port 4444 for that. Okay, let's see if I can find it for you guys. There we go. You can see that we did the local host, right, which is this computer over here, and then we added port 44444. Awesome. Okay, so that's why we are doing port 4444 right here. So let's go ahead and start listening to it. Actually, before we do that, I also want to do a verbose so I can see what's going on. Verbose. Awesome. So you can see that we are listening on port 4444 and on the local host. So then after that, what you want to do is you want to do an SC, and then you want to add the fully qualified domain name, and is DC that pentesting local. And what we want to do is we want to stop the DNS. Stop DNS pentesting. Let's see that I do this right. Fully qualified. Let's go ahead and do sc.exe. There we go. So you got to put that .exe. And as you can see over here, the stop is pending. But if you actually want to see if you have access, if this is a lab environment that you have, you can actually go to the DC and you can go to the services. And in the services, you are going to see that the DNS server was actually stopped because we are in the DNSAdmin. Therefore, we're able to stop and start the DNS server whenever we want to. So let's go ahead and go to DNS server. You can see that it's now running. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do the same command, but we are just going to say to start. And when it starts the DNS server, we should get a reverse shell over here that we're going to be catching. Let's go ahead and start that up. Give it a couple of seconds over here. Oh, it did not catch it. Let's go ahead and do stop the DNS, start the DNS. Oh, the instance is running. So port 4444. You might have to do it a couple times. Let's go ahead and see if it is running. And it is stuck at stopping. Let's see if we can. This is something that you could do, and if you do this, you basically host the server. So you basically won't be able. DNS is running, and that task. Refresh. There we go. So now let's go ahead and go back to my student machine. Let's go ahead and start this bad boy again. And it looks like a timeout stream failure. So port 4444. So we were not able to catch that DNS. So let's go ahead and stop it again. Oops. Let's go ahead and stop it. Stop pending. So it looks like we're not able to catch it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what command we actually added. What was it that we added? We added the Priv, making sure that I added the right one. And Priv esc.dll. That's the right one. Interesting. Let's go ahead and run this again. And let's go ahead and start. It's already running. Stop. Stop, and we host it again. So this is a little bit touchy, the DNS. So you got to make sure that it is trying to stop. Make sure that when you're doing this, you have a really good DNS reverse shell and the task. Let me go ahead and start this again. Student, and here we go. So now that you got to do it a couple of times, but now you can see that we started the DNS. And you can see over here that we have established a redirecting data between streams. So now from here, if you do a host name, who are you? The DC. And who am I? You should be system. And system, if you do a who am I groups, you will see that you are basically the you are the built-in administrators. So awesome sauce. What can you do from here? Well, what you could do from here, if you want to, what you could do is you can just go ahead and add a new. You can go ahead and create basically a new local user, right? You can create a new local user from the CMD in here. You could also run Mimikatz. You can stop the firewall. You can stop also the you can stop what is called the antivirus. You can do a lot of stuff. So, but one of the stuff that I really like doing the most it just created an account. So let's go ahead and do that. Net user, and the username that I want to add, let's go ahead and add Tito. The password is password 123, and we're going to go ahead and add it. Awesome. So then after that, what I want to do is I want to add Tito to the local admin user. So net user or net local group, and I want to add it to the administrators. Tito add. So now what we could do, we can go ahead and RDP to that server, which is that 52, I believe. You can just go ahead and do IP config from here. 52, yes. And you want to go ahead and remote in as Tito. Password 123. Let's see if it lets me remote in. I am an administrator, so I should be able to basically remote in, but it is, let's see, yes. Awesome. So here I am logging in as Tito to the domain controller. Because why? Because my student one user was part of the he was part of the DNSAdmin, and what I did was I created a DLL with my Linux machine, which was a reverse shell, and we injected that reverse shell into the DNS. And from there, what we did after we injected the DLL, right, what we did was we stopped and then we started the DNS server, and we were able to cache a reverse shell with PowerCat. So from here, let's go ahead and see if we were able to remote in, and you can see that we were actually able to remote in. So thank you guys for watching.